Have got live visuals of President Trump and First Lady Melania. They are leaving the White House. We are coming to you with live visuals from the White House in Washington, where Trump is leaving the White House for the final time. And he is walking with the First Lady to Marine One to be taken off to Mar-a-Lago in Florida. We know that his moving trucks left slightly earlier today as he walks across the White House lawns for the final time as president. Among an increased security detail following the storming of the Capitol Hill on the 6th of January. There we see President Trump and First Lady Melania boarding Marine One for the final time as they leave the White House on Inauguration Day, where President Joe Biden will be inaugurated in a few hours from now. Robust security measures have been put in place for today's events. These are live visuals from the White House, where Marine One is about to take off, carrying the outgoing president and First Lady. And we know Trump will not be attending the inauguration events of today. Now, we know 25,000 National Guard troops have been deployed to protect the incoming president and all those who will be present at the ceremony. And it's worth noting that 8,000 National Guard troops were deployed during Trump's inauguration in 2017, which is much less as compared to this time. Our security experts say that a few signs of an organized plot to disrupt the events of the inauguration have emerged. And a former State Department terrorism analyst said that some right-wing protesters might rally outside Washington's fenced-off central security zones. There are fears that they may cause violence. Now, Louis, I'll come back to you. We are on visuals of Marine One leaving the White House for the final time. And we just saw President Trump and First Lady Melania boarding Marine One. What are your reactions as Trump leaves the White House?
Well, I think the entire country is breathing a sigh of relief. And I think that when you've had a toxic leader, whether it's in a government or a company or any organization, when that toxic leader departs, everyone else breathes a sigh of relief and looks and hopes that the next leader will be someone who has empathy, who is humanistic, who has human values, a human touch, who cares, first and foremost of all. And then secondly, who's competent and wants to get the job done, wants to help people do the job that they were appointed to do. And that's the kind of leader that we have in Joe Biden. And I think the fact that he is a seasoned politician with relationships across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, who knows how to make the levers of government work, and who's a very decent human being, including the way he showed it through the service yesterday evening, memorializing the 400,000 people who have died because of this pandemic and the failures of the Trump administration to contain the pandemic. It gets him off on the right foot. It shows that he's going to be a different kind of leader. And I think Americans are looking forward, not looking back at this moment.
Absolutely. Louis, stay with us. We are being joined by our correspondent, Susan Serrani, coming to us live from Capitol Hill. Susan, we have just seen the visuals of President Trump and Melania leaving the White House for the final time. What are your reactions and what are the reports that you are hearing?
That's right. Actually, I was out of the screen because I was talking to two people who have Black Lives Matter flags with them. I asked them where they're going. They said that they're moving towards the Capitol building, seeing how far that they'll go. That's right. Donald Trump leaving the White House as U.S. president. He will arrive at Joint Base Andrews. He's allegedly supposed to be greeted by a group of crowds standing outside. He will then go to Mar-a-Lago after that. And while he didn't meet with President-elect Joe Biden, Melania Trump sort of broke from tradition. She didn't meet with Joe Biden. This peaceful transfer of power will happen regardless, with a backdrop of COVID, with heightened security here in Washington, D.C., and empty streets and no parade. So that's the new normal here.
Absolutely. Susan, stay with us. Louis, I'll go back to you. Biden will be sworn in a couple of hours as the 46th president of the United States. He wants to get straight to work, already saying that he will be rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement. Also, he'll be stopping construction on Trump's border wall and changing policies on immigration. What are we expecting in the first few days from new President Biden?
What his priorities were. And they would start with stopping the pandemic, so doubling the production of vaccines and getting them out much more quickly. Getting the economy going. He has asked Congress to add another $1,600 of relief payments, to increase the minimum wage, to take a number of actions to help individuals, families, and small businesses begin to recover economically. He will re-engage in the world to reassert U.S. leadership so there is not confusion among our adversaries and reassurance of our allies. He's promised to introduce an immigration bill on day one, which is critical. This country has needed comprehensive immigration reform for more than 40 years, with 11 million people who've lived here for an average of more than 20 years, and yet who have been unable to normalize their relationships and to have a status in this country. Addressing climate change, a global problem that requires U.S. leadership, from which President Trump withdrew. So these are serious, important priorities. He's also going to have to deal with the aftermath of the Trump presidency, which includes that the Senate will be dealing with an impeachment trial that he's very hopeful is not going to interfere with the ability to get his appointees confirmed. He has to have over 3,000 political appointees confirmed by the Senate, and he needs those people in place so that they can start running these very, very large departments of the government. The Senate was unwilling, the Republican-led Senate was unwilling to work constructively with President Obama, but Joe Biden's a different person, and it appears that he has a better relationship with Senator Mitch McConnell. Other senators, he has a bare 50-50 plus one majority in the Senate, so he has the possibility of accomplishing a lot in the very first couple of years of his administration.
Louis, thank you very much for being with us on this broadcast and all your insights and information there. And Susan, before I let you go, Louis has just touched on the fact the fewest cabinet confirmations in decades for Joe Biden as he takes office. But another groundbreaking and history-making moment as Kamala Harris is sworn in as the first female vice president.
Yeah, historic indeed and significant in these times, definitely, considering the fact that the argument of identity politics has been so prevalent, notably among the Democrats, progressives, and left-leaning individuals. So this is a historic moment for all of America. It's about progress, but at the end of the day, putting identity politics aside, it will come down to whether or not this administration, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden and the rest of the administration and cabinet will be able to pull this country together. Because at this point, there is the people that support Trump, there are the so-called moderate Republicans, there are people that want a more leftist, progressive agenda on the Democrats, and then there are the Democratic centrists. So bringing this mixing pot together, I think, will be detrimental in the past experiences, definitely by the past experiences that Kamala Harris has had, the years in government that Joe Biden has had, and while it's very symbolic, it's very noteworthy how far America and the world has come for the first female vice president. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how they're going to manage this country.
Absolutely, Susan. Thanks very much for bringing us all the latest there as we watched Trump and First Lady Melania leaving the White House. Now, WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.